welcome back to my channel and another Plan With Me video. I can't even believe it is July. June felt like it just flew right past, and yeah, that is just wild because more than half the year is done at this point and it felt like it was just Christmas. So I don't know, the older I get, the quicker the years go by, and it truly feels like time is fleeting, and that scares the hell out of me. But we're not going to talk about that because I have extensive anxiety over that in the future, and I just don't want to get into that right now. I want to ignore it as much as possible and just live my life. So that was a very deep way to enter this video today. We're coming in strong with all of the anxiety right now. But anyway, if you are new here, my name is Jessica. I am a digital lifestyle creator living and working in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I write and make videos about life in my 30s, beauty, wellness, self-care, and more. Welcome to another Plan With Me video, you guys. For those of you that are new here, I have a very specific planning strategy. And so my blended planning strategy is twofold. The first is I write all of my personal to-dos, tasks, habit tracking, mood tracking in my Amanda Rach Lee Doodle Planner. To be honest, I haven't been inspired to fill this out over the last 2 months. Let me just show you. So each month in the Doodle Planner, there's a little spread. For example, this is January's spread. So it comes like with coloring prompts and all of that fun stuff. There's a habit tracker and a mood tracker, and you just color it in. It's fun when you're into the spread that they have. So this was last month's spread. It was kind of like a geometric abstract type of spread. I was kind of into it in the beginning. As you can tell, I colored the cover page, didn't color this page, didn't fill out any of the goals. And then you have the calendar page here, which I didn't fill out. And then the habit tracker I did not fill out at all last month, and I started to fill out the mood tracker, and then I just kind of lost interest in it. I think for me it really depends on the theme if I want to contribute to my doodle planner, but I'm not really forcing myself at this point. And to be fair, this always happens to me. Like, I am such a planner girl. I buy a planner almost every year, and every year at this time of the year I just get like planner fatigue and I like forget about it. So this behavior is not surprising to me, and I knew that when I bought the planner, and this is a fairly expensive planner, like $50. So I don't know what I was thinking. It's a good planner. This is my first time using it. I love it a lot. I think for me it just really depends on the theme that month and if I'm like really into it, which thankfully I am really into July's theme, but I will reveal that a little bit later. So this is part 1 of my blended planning strategy. Part 2 is the digital side of my planner. So I use Notion to track all of my annual and monthly goals, and then I also use it as my books and media tracker. Now let's jump into my Notion. Here are my 2024 goals. I have broken up my goals for the year into different categories. So we have health and fitness, personal, and career. And then I also have like a all/remaining goals area. This is just stuff that I want to work on, but it's not a priority. I know it looks like I have a lot checked off here for the year, but it was just more of a visual to show you folks how I am implementing these annual goals into my monthly plan. These aren't really like checked off for the year, they're just checked off for June. So for health and fitness, I have cook more, eat out less, journal once per week, meditate for mental health, move more for mental and physical health, and prioritize digital boundaries. I feel like I'm doing really well here. June wasn't like, it didn't start off well in this area, but I have since gotten my shit together and now we're doing great. So I've checked all of these things off because I feel like I really recovered after the beginning of the month. Moving on to my personal goals, we have budget and track income, go on at least 1 date night per month with Angel, read at least 25 books, reconnect with friends I haven't seen since last year, and save at least $5,000 to my savings account. Budget and track income. Look, I did budget and I did track my income, but I didn't do well on the not spending part, and I have put that back into my July goals because man, I took it off for 1 month and I decided that I had billions of dollars to spend. I don't know who I thought it was, but I really need to hone that in July, and so we'll talk about that a little later. My next personal goal is to go on at least one date night per month with Angel. I don't know about you folks. I don't know if anyone that watches my videos here is married without kids. I'm a childless millennial, you folks. I mean, we both are. And it is just so hard to plan and go on date nights, especially if you both work. It is tiring. I don't know who these couples are that just feel like on social media it feels like their love is effortless, because ours is not. There's a lot of effort that goes into it. And the thing that I think about the most when I'm saying this is that episode of Friends where Monica and Chandler are talking about soulmates, and you know, they both don't believe in soulmates, and Monica is like, I believe that we work hard in our relationship to be where we are, some days more than others. And I just, yes, I vibe with that so much, because that is literally what my relationship feels like. And that doesn't mean that our relationship is going bad or going sour or anything like that. It's just that sometimes in life, things take a little bit more effort. And right now, that is what it feels like to me. Going on at least one date night per month with Angel this year has been challenging because of our 9-to-5 work life, feeling tired and just giving in other places, not to ourselves. And I don't know, I kind of want to take this goal off of my annual goals to not feel like a failure at the end of the year, but I feel like I should keep it to show myself and just maybe inspire myself that this is something that I need to put more time towards. Let's jump into the next personal goal, which is read at least 25 books this year. You guys, I did so well on reading this month, and I actually have a book wrap-up video coming out soon, if not already out. But in June, I read 4 books, and I'm on my 5th book for the month. That is wild, because when you watch my book wrap-up video, I mentioned that I am an incredibly slow reader. I typically read 1 to 2 books a month because I only read at night. But I don't know, but the books I've been reading recently have been so good, and I am just on a roll. We will jump into my books and media tracker to talk about this a little later, but yes, I did really good on reading this month. I am definitely gonna hit my goal, I think. I'm like at 13 books at this point. So if I don't hit it by the end of summer, I'm for sure gonna hit it this year. I feel it in my bones. Next is to reconnect with friends I haven't seen since last year. I actually updated this goal to say reconnect with friends, and I took out I haven't seen since last year, because I feel like that was just putting myself in a bucket that I just could not get myself out of. I mean, this goal has been on my list for like 3 months now, and I still haven't reconnected with friends I haven't seen since last year. So I'm just gonna do reconnect with friends. Last month I did really good. I went out with my friend from work, and we had like a coffee working day. And then I also went out with my team, who I consider my friends for the most part, like my work friends. And that was really, really fun. So yay, I'm glad I checked this off, because I haven't been doing well in that area. And then save at least $5,000 to my savings account. Like I mentioned, I'm not doing well in finances right now, so I did not check this one off. Now let's move on to career. My first goal is to publish 1 video per week to YouTube on Mondays. I did very well here, and I think that's because my June goals was to prioritize planning. And so I'm so proud of myself, you guys. I posted 4 videos last month. I have 1, 2, 3 vlogs, and then I have my every book I read this spring. That's my book reading wrap up. My next career goal is to publish 1 short form video per week to Instagram and TikTok. I did not do this last month. I did 1 reel in TikTok and YouTube short, and it was the You Made It to the End of Iron Flame, because I did finish reading Iron Flame in May, and just go check it out. If you need a good laugh, go check it out. Those are my real reactions. I like turned my camera on and filmed all of my reactions while reading Iron Flame. If you haven't seen that reel or TikTok yet, go check it out. My handle is at jessikalynorozco on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And then the final goal in my career goal set is to start and stop my 9-to-5 job on time, no overtime. I feel like I'm doing really well there. And then all of my remaining goals, which is learn to cook at least one dish from each of my ethnicities. And then I already planned my PTO for the end of the year, so we're doing great there. Now let's move into my June goals page. So this is kind of the same as my 2024 goals, but all of the goals in my monthly goals list are kind of sub goals to my annual goals. My first personal goal is to prioritize morning and nighttime routines for mental health. This has been a goal that's been on my monthly goals list for almost the whole entire year, and I don't plan on changing that. The bulleted list below are just different ideas on how I can prioritize these routines. All of these things contribute to me having better mental health. The next goal in my personal goals block is to read one new book, which I mentioned in the 2024 goals page. I did so well last month. In my book wrap-up video, I mentioned that how I was feeling shame to do the book wrap-up video because I don't read a lot of books monthly. I typically read like 1 to 2 books a month. This month, I somehow read 4 books, and also I am working on Flawless by Elsie Silver right now. The books that I am reading right now are just so good, except for one of them. We'll go over more about the books I read in detail in my books and media tracker, but yes, I have read 5 books this month, and I'm just so proud of myself, you guys. For my June health and fitness goals, I have drink 80 ounces of water per day. Didn't really do that like every single day, but I did increase my water intake, which I am so proud of myself for, especially as I go back into drinking more coffee, because you guys know, as I sip my coffee, that I don't typically drink a lot of coffee, and so as I start to drink coffee again, I've been increasing my water intake, so that is very important for me. My next health and fitness goal was to make 1 healthy meal per week. Didn't really make healthy meals last month. In fact, I ate out so much in the beginning of the month, but thankfully I have recovered and we have restarted working our weekly meal plans. So the one healthy meal that we've made was shrimp tacos, but I think just cooking at home overall is way healthier than eating out at this point. And then I did rework my weekly workout split, so the bulleted list below is what I've been working on, and I just need to say, I love this workout split so much. The workout split that I was doing before this was a Apple Fitness Plus custom plan, and I really like the custom plan idea because I don't have to choose the workouts, it does it for me. But I was getting really tired of it, and so I decided to rework it, and I love this schedule so much more. I feel more in sync with my body, and because I've been adding more Pilates and yoga to my workouts, I feel lean. And then the last 2 goals for June in my career goals block is to dedicate 1 hour per week toward content planning and dedicate 1 hour per day editing videos. You guys, these 2 goals alone have helped me so much in keeping on track. I'm gonna jump over real quickly to my content planner to show you how this is working out for me. So I kind of have like is this called a Buddha board? Bunda board? I don't know what it's called, but it's a board view, and I have 3 columns, actually 4 columns. I have a not started, filming, editing, and publish, and I just drag the blocks into whatever one I'm working on. So at the time of filming this video, I'm currently editing my every book I read this spring, and then I will start filming my Getting My Life Together Summer Reset, Life Reset vlog next week. And then in my not started column, I have all of the videos that I potentially want to work on. Actually, I'm gonna move this to filming because that's the one that I'm filming right now. And then I have all of my published videos. So this has really been working out well for me. I love this setup so much. It's so much more simple than what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing before this, but this is working out for me, and I'm so excited about it. That is what's been helping me stay on track with posting to YouTube. And then dedicating 1 hour per day editing videos. I won't say that I work the full 1 hour, but I have been dedicating at least 30 minutes per day after work to editing videos, and that has been helping me to stay on track as well and not feel like I'm editing at the last minute. So usually I edit and get the good chunk of my video done on Saturdays, and yeah, by the time Saturday hits now, because I've been editing most of the week, I have just little bits and pieces to do, which makes me feel so much better. Look, I have been blogging for over a decade now, and this is my first year doing YouTube, and I've never been able to hack into balancing my content creation life with my 9-to-5 work life, with my personal life, and you know, all the lives that I live. It's just, I've never been able to hack into it, and I think I finally figured it out with this schedule, so I'm so excited for it, you guys. This is exactly what I needed, like, to round out the first half of the year. Now let's jump into my books and media tracker. I feel like I've been talking about this for a couple of minutes now. I'm so excited because, like I mentioned, I read 4 books last month and I'm working on my 5th. So these are all the books that I read in June, you guys. Let's start with Funny Story because that was such a good book. Emily Henry is good in the sense that she just knows how to balance romance novel writing with the human experience. And I mentioned this in my book wrap-up video because it is so important for those of you that haven't read Emily Henry yet but are going to soon to know that her books are beyond romance, and it really takes a deep dive into human relationships, the human experience and connection, and it's just so warm and fuzzy, you guys. I love Emily Henry so much. And so that said, if you haven't read an Emily Henry book yet, I highly recommend you start with Funny Story first. Before I read Funny Story, my recommendation for Emily Henry would have been Book Lovers, but that has been knocked out the water by Funny Story. The next book that I read was called The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, and this is my first Lauren Asher book. The Fine Print was so good, much better than I was expecting it to be. The only thing that bothered me is that it's written in the style of 2 point of views, and that tends to make stories a little bit longer, but it was such a good book. It's like, what are the main tropes in this? Enemies to lovers, boss and employee, and then he definitely falls first, which I loved. I called it from the very beginning. And then what else tropes? I can't even remember it right now. My brain isn't working. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I really want to buy the next 2 books in the series, but I have put myself on a book buying ban because I bought way too many books in the last 2 months. I can't wait to read the next 2 books and then read more Lauren Asher books because I heard Throttled and Love Redesigned is really good. The next book that I read was called Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This book has come highly recommended by so many of you after I read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. You guys made me really excited to read this, and look, it was a good book. It's just that it's written in the whodunit style, like a mystery thriller type of way, and I freaking hate that type of like writing. It just drives me absolutely nuts. Also, on top of that, the main female character, Evangeline, she was just driving me absolutely up the wall insane. I feel like everyone just really loves this book so much, and maybe it's because I'm not like a mystery thriller type of girly, but oh, man, this girl is so naive. Every single chapter was just like, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's, and I just could not. I'm just so surprised with myself that I actually finished. The next book that I read, I just finished like last night actually, and it's called Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This is the last time that I will ever read like book reviews or watch book talks about a book before reading it, because I was fully ready to not like this book after reading some of the things that you guys said on like Reddit and this whole controversy on Book Talk about spicy books not being actual books. You guys were like, this is not a good book because it's basically, you know, because of how spicy it is. So that's the last time I listened to anyone before reading a book, and I just love this book so much. I mentioned this in my book wrap-up video. You guys know I love a book when I freaking start tabbing and annotating. So this was a good book to me. Actually, all the way up until the ending, I was ready to rate this 3 stars because the last 20 chapters in the story were so slow. They were just dragging on and on and on. And there is the eating disorder in this book, and I felt like it needed a content warning for it. When I started reading about it, I was like, oh my God, taking it back a little bit. But yeah, this book ended up being really good. The ending was so satisfying, and that's why I ultimately ended up bumping up the rating for this. So I ended up rating it 4 out of 5 stars. And then the final book that I am reading, haven't quite finished yet at the time of filming this video, is Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is my first cowboy romance. I'm only on chapter 2 right now, but I'm not quite sure if I like it. But we'll see. I heard very good things about this book from other people, and like I said, I did not look on Book Talk for the reviews yet, but I have heard good things from some of my friends who have read this. We will see. But yeah, that's all of the books that I read in June. As far as movies and shows go, I forgot that I even watched this. So I watched The Summer I Turned Pretty season 2 finally. The show is so good, and I watch it at the perfect time because June is actually a hard month for me. It's the month that my Nana passed away 3 years ago, and I usually feel sad at the beginning of the month. I definitely live in my grief, and that's why I said at the beginning of the video that this month was kind of hard, but I recovered. And so if you haven't watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, I don't want to give away too much, but basically there's a death in the family, and each character struggles with grief and moving forward, and it just got me in my feels because it just reminded me that grief is not linear. It definitely comes and goes. And for example, 2 days ago when I was working out, actually on the actual death anniversary of my Nana, I was working out, and all of a sudden I felt this wave of grief overcome me. And it kind of felt like a hug, but it also felt like something that I needed to do. So I was literally doing jumping jacks and crying at the same time. And it just felt really good to, feel, because I know sometimes when we sit in our grief, it can feel like we want to isolate ourselves and just feel numb. And I've definitely wanted to feel numb sometimes from losing her, and that's never helped me in any way. So I'm very much an emotional person. I tap into my feelings. I allow myself to feel things when it is happening. And yeah, this month has been all about that. And so The Summer I Turned Pretty season 2 had really helped me to get into my feels without like thinking too much about it. And it just gave me a reason to cry, and I cried a lot. And then the next show that I'm currently working on is called Maxton Hall. I believe this is a German show because there are, like, when they're texting on screen, it shows German words. And basically it's a academic romance, billionaire academic romance, and this boy, James, falls in love with this girl, Ruby. They are from 2 different lives. James is a billionaire. Ruby is from like a very simple, humble family, and they have to work together at planning an event because shit went down, and they end up falling in love with each other. Yeah, this show is really good. I was fully expecting to finish it in like 2 days, but then I started reading Icebreaker, and I just couldn't read and watch at the same time. When I'm in that headspace, I'm either reading or I'm watching TV. So I haven't finished it yet, but I am like 1.5 episodes away from finishing it, and it's gonna be 5 stars for me. It's a really good show. Okay, we have finally made it to my July goals planning sheet. I feel like my monthly recaps get longer and longer, you guys. So if you're still here, thank you so much for waiting. I will also timestamp this video, so if there's anything that you want to jump forward to or jump back to, check the description below for the timestamps, because I can talk a lot. I know. I say this in every video. We have finally reached my July goals planning. I already went ahead and planned it before starting this video. Before we jump into the Notion part, I want to show you the spread in my doodle planner and why I'm really excited for it, because the spread for July is so freaking cute, you guys. Get there faster. Oh my God. Okay. The spread is strawberries. How freaking cute. I've been waiting for this month to get to color this because it is so stinking cute. The quote for July is, "The world is a better place with you in it." Isn't that the truth, you guys? Wow, that was very conceited of me. This is what the monthly view looks like. I freaking love this font. It's so cute. And then this is what the habit tracker and mood tracker looks like. I'm so excited to color this one. And then this is what like the weekly tracker looks like. Anyway, like I said, I am so excited for this month. I've been waiting for it all year, and I can't wait to color it, and I'm pretty sure I will be into it because like I mentioned at the top of this video, if the spread isn't, if I'm not feeling it, I won't color it, but because I'm feeling this one, I will definitely color it. So I haven't gotten there yet, you guys, but I will soon. But yeah, that's why I put a little strawberry here on my goals page for July, because the theme is strawberries in the doodle planner. I'm so excited. So let's quickly go over my goals for July. Most of it is the same, but I have put in some things that I have talked about for my June recap that I need to work on in July. So for my personal goals this month, I have prioritized morning and nighttime routines for mental health. This is non-negotiable goal. It needs to stay in my goals till the end of the year and even next year too, because I feel like seeing this up front every single month helps me to remember to do what I need to do. The only thing that I've added is to read at least one chapter of whatever book I'm currently reading before bed, because that is part of like my nighttime routine. My next goal in my personal goals list is to read one new book from my TBR list, because like I mentioned, I am doing so bad at spending money on books or not spending money on books, and I've spent so much money on buying books in the last couple of weeks and months that I need to pare this TBR list down. If July is anything like June in the way that I'm reading right now, then I am sure I will hit this goal, as long as I don't read like a boring book, but we will have to see. I also want to kind of copy like my career setup and dedicate 15 minutes per week to update my July budget tracker. And then I also want to declutter my yarn baskets and cart to use as a book cart. Right now I'm currently using my book cart as like a stationery / yarn cart, because I have way too much yarn for crocheting. And then I have like these baskets under the bench of my dining table to hold all this yarn, but I have so much scrap yarn that is just not enough to make projects. So I need to go through it, clean it out, give away any like yarn that I plan on not using, and then throw out all of the scrap yarn that is just not usable for projects at all, and just make space so I can put like my bigger blanket yarn under there. Because look, I had a goal of finishing this crochet blanket for, I want to say 8 months now. I started it last summer when I first started YouTube, and I still haven't finished it. I'm just not in the mood to crochet right now. I want to put away all of my crochet stuff just because I'm into reading right now, and I want my book stuff to have a house, not sitting here under the window where it can be like attacked by humidity and stuff like that. For health and fitness, I want to keep drinking 80 ounces of water per day, because summer is here, it is humid, it is hot, and I'm losing a lot of water just by sitting down sometimes. So I want to keep drinking 80 ounces of water per day. And then because I did not that great on meal planning in the beginning of June, I put as a goal here for me to plan meals in my weekly meal planner and stick to it. This will also help me to save money, so I really need to do this coming month. And then for career, I want to prioritize work-life balance, because I mentioned this at the beginning of my video or somewhere in this video that I'm about to enter my busy season for work, and I really want to make sure that I am not guilting myself for, you know, not working 12 plus hours a day. And I want to make sure that I work within my 9 to 5 boundaries, because once it's after 5, it is not my problem anymore unless it is planned or an emergency, which in my line of work could be anything really, and I am very mindful of that. But if it's not an emergency or a fire or anything like that, then I don't need to be working after work hours. I should probably also add back in my dedicate 1 hour per week to content planning at content planner, and then dedicate 1 hour per day to editing videos. I do want to keep that top of mind because it is working for me, so I put that back in there. That is it for my July plan with me video. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys, I know this video can get long. Thank you for sticking with me, you guys. You guys are the best. I appreciate all of you who like to tune into this video because I honestly have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm just sharing my life with you in the way that I like to do it. And this is one of the ways that I like to do it. So thank you for sticking with me, folks. That said, if you like this month's plan with me video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I feel like I'm in a really good place with YouTube right now, so your support means everything, and it really helps for other people to find my channel. So thank you so much to all of you who are new here and tuning into this video for the first time and just giving it all the love and support that it needs. That said, thank you again for watching, and until next time, I will see you folks in the next video. Bye!